You walk into a dark room alone. Something seems to move in the corner. Your heart immediately speeds up. You switch on the light. It is only a hanging coat. Apparently, your jacket has become a ghost. A tiny spider can create the same panic. So can a picture of a snake. Yet neither creature has ever attacked you. Why does your body react first? Were these fears inherited from ancient ancestors? Or did your brain quietly learn them? To understand fear, we must enter the ancient alarm system, still living inside us. Fear is one of humanity's oldest survival tools. It existed long before cities, schools, and locked bedroom doors. One simple mission: keep you alive. When danger appeared, hesitation could be costly.
Stop! Stay back! A snake.
The cautious animal often survived longer than the careless one. But fear does not wait for perfect evidence. It works more like an oversensitive smoke alarm. Sometimes it detects a real fire. Sometimes it screams because you burn toast. Your nervous system follows a similar strategy. A false alarm is inconvenient, but missing real danger could be fatal. Imagine our distant ancestors walking through tall. A curved shape lies beside the path. It might be a harmless branch. It might also have fangs. The ancestor who stepped back first gained a small advantage. The curious ancestor may have gained an interesting final memory. Over countless generations, quick caution helped shape human behavior. This does not mean every fear was stored inside our genes. Humans are not born carrying a complete catalog of terrifying creatures. Instead, we may inherit certain sensitivities and learning tendencies. Scientists sometimes call this prepared learning. The brain can learn some dangers faster than others. Snakes' heights and threatening faces easily capture our attention. Flowers and coffee mugs usually do not. Unless that coffee mug is falling toward your foot. Attention, however, is not identical to fear. A baby noticing a snake does not prove the baby fears snakes. Full fear develops through biology, observation, experience, and culture. In other words, nature prepares the stage. Life helps cast the monsters. Darkness is a perfect example. Darkness cannot bite. The problem is what darkness hides. Human vision becomes less reliable in low light. Shapes blur, distances become uncertain, and ordinary objects look unfamiliar. Your brain hates missing information, so it starts making predictions. Unfortunately, it rarely predicts a friendly sandwich waiting nearby. It imagines an intruder, an animal, or something with unusually long fingers. This bias once made practical sense. Night concealed predators, cliff strangers, and uneven ground. Hearing also becomes more important when vision weakens. Every creak suddenly earns your full attention. The refrigerator hums like a distant growl. A curtain moves without permission. Imagination takes over. It becomes writer, director, and special effects department. Adults understand that bedrooms are generally safe. Yet, ancient caution can still overpower modern reasoning. Snakes trigger another powerful reaction. For primates, snakes have been relevant threats for millions of years. Their shape and movement are visually distinctive. People often detect snake-like forms surprisingly quickly. That rapid detection can happen before conscious analysis finishes. First comes the jolt. Then comes the question: is that actually a snake? Sometimes the answer is no. It is a garden hose, enjoying its most successful performance. But detecting snakes quickly is not the same as fearing every snake. Children also watch how adults respond. If a parent screams, the child receives a powerful lesson. The lesson arrives without a textbook. Stories and warnings strengthen the association. Personal encounters can strengthen it further. Meanwhile, calm and safe exposure may produce a very different response. Some people admire snakes. Others leave the room when one appears on television. Spiders occupy a similar corner of the human imagination. They move quickly and follow unfamiliar body plans. Too many legs. Their sudden appearances make matters worse. Nobody enjoys discovering an unexpected roommate inside the shower. Yet most spiders pose little danger to humans. Our reaction often exceeds the actual risk. This gap reveals how fear works. Fear responds to perceived danger, not carefully calculated statistics. A harmless spider nearby can feel more urgent than a distant, serious threat. Images, movies, and other people's reactions can amplify that feeling. Repetition turns the spider into a familiar symbol of danger. Culture then its web's shadows, poison, and dramatic music. The spider never requested this career. It was simply trying to catch a fly. But what about ghosts? No ancient predator wore a white sheet. Fear of ghosts is probably not a specific, inborn program. Instead, it combines several older human anxieties. We fear darkness, death, strange sounds, and unseen agents. Humans are especially good at detecting possible intentions. If branches move, something may be moving them. If footsteps sound nearby, someone may be approaching. This ability helps us understand animals and other people, but it can also create agents where none exist. A settling house becomes a mysterious visitor. A reflection becomes a silent face. Your brain connects incomplete clues into a meaningful story. Cultural stories then provide names, appearances, and motives for the mystery. Different societies imagine different supernatural beings. That variation shows how strongly culture shapes supernatural fear. The basic uneasiness may be ancient. The ghost wearing local clothing is culturally customized. Fear also spreads socially. Humans learn by watching one another. A frightened face tells us danger may be nearby. This communication happens quickly and often automatically. Children especially study their caregivers for emotional guidance. A calm reaction can signal safety. A panicked reaction can create lasting caution. Words contribute to repeated warnings. Make an unseen danger feel increasingly real. Movies can train the imagination with remarkable efficiency. After one horror film, every bathroom trip becomes a survival mission. Memory then preserves emotional moments more strongly than boring ones. That is why one frightening incident can outweigh many safe encounters. Personality also influences the result. Some nervous systems respond more strongly to uncertainty. Others recover from sudden alarms more quickly. Genes, upbringing, culture, and experience continuously interact. Therefore, no two people carry exactly the same map of fear. Fear is useful. It keeps us away from obvious danger. It sharpens attention and prepares the body to act. Heart rate rises, breathing changes, and muscles receive more energy. The amygdala helps evaluate emotionally important threats. Other brain regions add memory, context, and conscious judgment. The system is a network, not a single fear button. Usually the alarm settles when safety becomes clear. Sometimes it remains too sensitive. A severe phobia can disrupt daily choices and relationships. That is more than ordinary caution. Fortunately, the brain can learn new associations. Gradual, safe exposure can weaken an exaggerated alarm response. New experiences teach the brain that the expected disaster does not occur. Professional support can make this process safer and more effective. So are humans born afraid? The honest answer is more interesting than a simple yes. We are born with protective reflexes and a readiness to notice danger. We may learn certain ancient threats unusually quickly. But experience and culture help transform attention into recognizable fear. Darkness supplies uncertainty. Snakes and spiders supply ancient shapes. Ghost stories supply invisible characters. Then imagination connects everything after bedtime. Your fear is not proof that you are weak or irrational. It is an ancient bodyguard that occasionally mistakes your coat for a monster.